Welcome to What the Health? Where anything health is fair game, as we tackle the trends and bust the myths about health and wellness. Here are your hosts, Dr. Dan and Angela Toro.
And welcome to another episode of What the Health. I am Dr. Dan here with my two co-hosts.
I'm Dr. Riley.
And Angela. Welcome back, guys. As you know, we are here for informational purposes only, in no way offering individualized medical advice. So always talk to your trusted healthcare advisor. I don't know if you guys trusted healthcare professional before making changes to your lifestyle. Although today I feel like is a pretty safe,
pretty gentle topic.
So we're talking about this month. We're really focusing on spring cleaning and spring cleaning your health. The topic for the month is spring cleaning your health. But yes, today we're talking about how spring cleaning your house can help your health. Doesn't necessarily seem like two things that might go together, being clean and organized, but really it can do a lot of wonders. Having clean and organization can really, really help not just your mental health, but your physical health as well. And so we're going to kind of delve into that a little bit more again from a very just kind of talking personal and then a little bit of
just maybe some tips.
Yeah.
Professional help.
Yeah, professional help.
for any functional hoarders that are out there. Yes, or those of us who just have children and live in chaos all the time.
Pretty clean right now.
Well, because this year was our year to hire the professional cleaner who comes in either once a week or every other week, and yes, she does an absolutely amazing job. Because what happens is then she comes in, she does the deep cleaning, right? She cleans the stove, which would normally take me like an hour to do, because if I clean the stove once every 2 weeks, it's a mess. But she cleans the stove, she cleans all the bathrooms, so it's like that deep cleaning is taken care of. So now we can just focus on, the little pickup. And again, when we have guests come over, it's like, all the heavy stuff is done. So it's just so much easier to clean, pick up the clutter. And then again, it's like just keeping it organized, Well,
and that word clutter is key, because that truly there is. And so clutter causes chaos, and as we know, or maybe you don't if you live in chaos, but we as humans don't like being in a state of chaos. We like order, we like we like patterns. So when you get chaos causes stress, and we talk all the time about when we're under the state of chronic stress and what that does, not just to you mentally but physically. It takes that toll on your body when you're in that constant state of fight or flight. So you might not realize it, but coming home and your house being a complete disaster is actually triggering that stress response. And you might think, well, I'm just used to it. That's just how I am. But really, again, biologically, that is what's happening, because every time you can't find your keys, you can't find your shoes, you can't,
You're going into that fight or flight state. Right?
Yeah, exactly. So think about how many times a day do you go, I can't, you're looking for something. What was it?
Aaron only used the F-bomb once this morning looking for the microphone.
I was just about to say. I was like, looking for this microphone on podcast recording today.
She knew exactly where it was, and she said it's going to be under the last thing I picked up. It was in the last place I looked.
Yeah. So if you think about be honest, how many times a day are you kind of in that state, whether it's in your house, your car, your office, where, oh God, I can't talk about the office. When I first started working for you guys, I was like, oh my God, I'm going to have a heart attack.
What she doesn't realize is we hired her. I feel much better about it now.
Everybody knows probably once a month I just go into breakdown mode and clean the entire back office, because I'm like, I cannot take it.
And she's in spring cleaning mode. Don't mess with her. Stay out of her way.
I cannot trip over one more box.
Yes, and then they tell me to go start the fire out back.
So we're burning everything. But no, it is. If you are not an overly organized person, it can be much more, because again, there's obviously differences in personality. Like, I like things clean, organized, in their place. I am clearly like our mother in that aspect. you, whether it's just a difference in personality or you've just adapted to the life of a messy wife and children, seem to do much better in a in a disorganized environment than I can.
It's organized chaos.
Yes, organized.
It has gotten significantly better, and I feel it, and I will tell you, like when when we went through the transition a few years ago of renovating the house that we're in now, we went from a two-family, it was a two-family home, a duplex top and bottom. We renovated it back into a single-family home. We had stuff everywhere. It was stuffed in closets, stuffed in the basement. Because again, it's like, you didn't really, we did temporarily move into another home, but only for like 6 months. So it's like we had stuff in garages, stuff there at the other house. And, and again, it's like it's a very stressful time because, again, it's like, hey, I'm looking for this. Hey, I'm looking for this. But it's also funny because you realize like, hey, I didn't see that thing for 2 years. Maybe I don't need it. So at the end of that renovation, as we've been starting to put things away, back into their final resting place, we found out that many of the final resting place is in the dumpster. It's like, get it out. And, I always say like, even though I can't see it, if my basement is organized, I am in a much better mental health state because I know, even though I can't see it, I can go down, our laundry is down there. I can get back to my tool bench or workout areas down there. And it's like, I can just move around. And, I had a friend of ours who's also, he told me at one point in time, if your house is in just chaos and, let's say it's kitchen, dining room, whatever, make sure your sink is cleaned out. And you start with the sink.
Oh, that used to come.
That's the exit point for cleanup. Like that is, cleaning central. And if that's backed up, then everything else, gets backed up because of it. So, it's just a matter of, that organization that, again, having a system, but we were without a system and without really a place to do it for so long. So.
And I think that's where spring cleaning really comes in. Again, you don't have to wait till spring, but believe it or not, you can actually do this anytime. But I think again, winter we tend to we sort of go more into hibernation, hunker down mode. Whereas I think the idea with the spring is you can get the windows open, you can have the doors open,
you can take stuff outside too.
Yes,
and,
exactly.
You can take carpets, you can
be running in and out without worrying about the snow and coming in. Yeah,
that's exactly it.
But but again, when the first place to start is with the purge, with the getting rid of the things you don't need. And I mean, we live in such a state of abundance. And actually, I was just kind of looking into this a little bit, and I found an article that talked about, again, the influence of social media and like the clickbait and that it is a proven thing that the more screen time, the more social media time that people have, the more stuff that they accumulate. Because I know I fall victim to it. It's like you might be able to resist it the first time, but I mean, Facebook knows if you hover over that ad for just a second too long, it's gonna keep popping up, and so the consumerism has increased so much because of that. We've ended up in this state like where you just have things you don't need, and then you're like, well, I bought it, I don't want to get rid of it. If you really, we've all done it, we've all made the stupid purchase, and God, nope, don't, I definitely didn't need that. Get rid of it. Donate. If you don't want to, if it's brand new or nearly new, donate it. Because somebody else probably does need it. And so getting rid of the stuff that you truly don't need, truly don't use, and that's the thing. It's like, I'm such a minimalist. So for me, that's easy. I'm like, in fact, sometimes I look back, I'm like, maybe I shouldn't have gotten rid of that thing. I'm like, yeah, it's fine. It's gone. It's in the past.
Well, that's what I always tell Aaron. I'm like, if we know, that we can't use it, even kids' clothes. It's like, saving kids' clothes. And, we got to a point where we just stopped saving clothes from Ethan to give to Sammy, because it's like, we will get new clothes. Like we'll go down. I mean, clothes are actually relatively inexpensive if you don't buy them new.
Or again,
kids.
you'll get them from somebody else that's closer because your kids have a wide age gap.
Yeah.
Like it's not like you're like boom, boom, boom. Like there's years in between them fitting in. Yeah. So
and again, that's just it. It's like, and I do this when we go on vacation too, because Erin's the type like she wants to take everything because she's like we have it. And, but I'm like, Erin, if we get to the place that we're going and we forgot something, there is a Target or Walmart or God forbid you can put it on Amazon.
Yeah,
to probably get
exactly.
Even the freaking we went to an island last year, and it's like. You can get it in the store. You don't need to pack all of this stuff. And it's, so like that idea, like, oh, maybe I'll need it again. It's like, well, get rid of it if you're not using it now. And it's like, if you need it again down the line,
then
it's like,
you can get it. Yeah, exactly.
You can
like,
buy it again.
I know that I've found I do that with clothes. I hate shopping, but then I'll get to the point where I'm like, oh, I truly have like no clothes for. I mean, again, we pretty much wear athletic wear in the office, and it's what I wear in my free time. So I pretty much live in athletic wear. Every once in a while, I'm like, oh wow, I don't have like a shirt to go out in. But I will with clothes. I will not order something or go shop for something unless I have a specific purpose for it, because I've found in the past I've done that. I'm like, oh, that's a cute dress, sits in my closet. I'm like, so now it's like, okay, wedding coming up, that is my chance to go buy a dress that, again, hopefully I'll get a couple uses out of, but at least I know I'm wearing it to that. And it's like, oh, something's coming up, I need a new outfit for. But just the just the buying stuff just to have it and then holding on to it. And that's why, again, the purging is the first part, because if you're trying to organize, then again, all that stuff you have has to have a place.
Yes.
So now you're trying to find a place for stuff you might not even need. Like you said, with your basement. Like for me, like where I live, I'd say it's actually perfect for a minimalist, because I have no storage. Yeah. I have a closet that's like this big. You guys, for those who can't see, we're talking like foot and a half.
Inches.
Yeah. Not even joking. That is my closet. And I have no basement. I have no I live in the attic, like converted attic. So it's like there's very minimal storage. So it's like there is no like, oh, I'm gonna, hold on to this stuff. It's like, no, if it does not have a day-to-day purpose or season, I have my window AC unit that I have covered up in a corner because that will go in the summer. But if it does not have a yearly purpose, a daily or yearly purpose, it's gone, because there's just. And I think if more people took that mindset, it's like the basement, I think, is the downfall of the people who live in the suburbs. It's like, you just put it in the basement or put it in the attic.
When we were pregnant with Ethan, our oldest, our midwife told us, because she got this mindset. She's like, if something comes into the house, then something of equal size proportion needs to exit. Yeah. And that's the problem. I mean, some people, they literally make house purchases because they have all of this stuff, because they feel like they're running out of space. Like, rather than,
get rid of stuff.
I mean, my goodness, you could have you pay a professional organizer a couple $1,000s to come in and help you declutter and dump and organize, and you would probably, save yourself thousands and tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars on the purchase of a new space. And that's what I've always told Erin. Like, I love the space we're in. I don't feel like we need more room. It's just a matter of organizing it better. And people. So if you feel like you're in a place that you can't even get to the point of organization, then again, that's where you might still need to get rid of more, really do a true inventory, because again, if you do, I mean, you can definitely have too much stuff for a space. So that's where it's really going through things, being mindful. I always say moving is actually one of the best. Like, I've moved so much, and it's like every time I'm like, nope, is this really worth putting into a box, carrying to a new location, then taking out of that box and figuring out, nope, it's gone. So even if you're not moving, if you use that mindset, like, is this worth, finding, packing up, finding a place to store so that I remember that I have it in the event that I might need it. Well, and a great way to start is, if you're holding an item in your hand, whether it's a piece of clothing, something that you put away in the basement. If you're holding something in your hand and you can, truly ask, does this bring me joy? Does this truly make me feel, good, or do I just literally feel stressed, holding it?
Yeah.
And,
or does it serve a purpose?
Or does this truly serve a purpose in my life?
Yeah, like my kitchen. The answer is nothing in my kitchen brings me joy, but it serves a purpose.
So so that's a great way. Does it have a specific function, or does it bring me joy? And if the answer is no to either of those, then get rid of it.
Yeah.
Now, if you have a family, we might have to ask if, because there's a lot of stuff.
Sorry, Aaron. Karen comes home from this podcast recording and everything's gone.
Everything's gone. Yeah, there might be something that brings someone else in your family joy or serve a purpose. So, again, if you've got a family, you have to do it as a family. But yeah, again, it's a great way to get your kids involved too, because I grew up like our dad, and our dad was a freaking pack rat. He still is in a lot of ways. He's gotten
better, but he definitely
he's still just again holding on to all the
sentimental attachments.
And and again, that's how I grew up, and I see that a lot in our oldest son too. It's just like the nostalgia and like holding on to things that you've traveled and you've made, and it's like I have become much more like our mother. And it's like, and again, I think out of necessity, because our family needed someone like that. So it's like, nope, get rid of it, get it out. I don't want it.
Yeah, Dad will be like, well, someone has to take this piece of furniture. It was my great. I'm like, I don't care. I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't need it. I don't like it. I do not have the sentimental attachment to that piece of furniture that you do.
I want to wait till maybe one day in the afterlife, and we're meeting all of these these spirits, and you actually like talk to great aunt Marcy or whoever, and she's like, I hated that thing.
Oh my god, he kept that for how long?
It's like, I couldn't wait to get rid of that.
The best part of dying was I didn't have to see that thing before.
I can't tell you how many times I stubbed my toe on that.
Yeah, we do. It's like we form these sentimental attachments to things, and lose sight of what. It's fun. Last time I moved, I didn't take my table and chairs with me because again, I live in a small. It's spacious, but it's the last time I had lived. I was moving back into a place I had lived for 3 years. Probably sat at that table all of a handful of times. Yep. And I'm like, so there it is, taking up this space that I now have a chair and like a piece of furniture that has some of my, and I don't have many knickknacks, but my few knickknacks in. And it's like every time I look at that, because it's right in the little window nook, and every time I look at it now, I'm like, this is so much more, like I like this so much more than when those table and chairs were sitting there that I never used. So it's just, taking that, we sometimes have things because we think we're supposed to. And so sometimes, again, taking a true inventory and it's like, do I truly need this? Does it bring me joy? Or is this something that's just taking up space and causing me stress every time I look at it? And again, if you live in a bigger space, then it's, people always say like a room at a time, or again, a section of a room at a time. Start with the kitchen sink, start with one bathroom, start with one closet.
Yep.
Yeah.
Take everything out, go through
everybody,
it.
Yeah, everybody has the drawer or the closet that the junk drawer.
And you're allowed to have a junk.
Oh yeah,
everyone's allowed to have that space.
Drawer.
The problem is people turn that drawer into an entire room.
Yeah, exactly.
Or a floor.
Exactly. If you can get it down to a junk drawer,
you can keep it.
Yeah.
It was funny this morning. I think I took the mail out from yesterday, and I opened 2 letters, and they were sitting on the corner of the island that Erin had just cleaned up. And she came into the room, and she just stared at them. And she didn't have to say anything, and I just come over and I pick them up. I threw away what I didn't need, and I put the other stuff away. And it was just like, and again, we both get like that. We always make fun of Erin as being the disorganized one, but again, she's dealing with 3 kids.
I get it.
She's really not. She does okay, but her time is dedicated to keeping the kids on track. Who's the organized one out of you and Jamie?
I would say Jamie is. She labels everything. So.
You got a labeler.
Yeah, so it's not hard to find stuff.
That's good.
Do you get in trouble if you put things in the back?
I don't touch it.
I don't touch anything.
If she wants me to clean something, I'll clean it. and then I ask her where everything is, and that seems to irritate her, but it keeps me at, my mind at ease.
But it is. It's truly, it might seem like something that's just kind of a necessity, like, oh, I gotta clean the house. But truly, from a health perspective, it does. It's going to help your mental health. It's going to help your physical health. If you're living in a state of clutter. Well, and also, think about just if everything's cluttered and unclean. If you have a pile of dishes in the sink, how clean is anything really getting? If your bathroom's filthy, how clean are you really getting when you're in there using it? So even from a physical health, perspective, you do want to make sure. I will say, clean the shower. For some reason, that is I hate cleaning the shower, but I will, now that I take Epsom salt baths as regularly as I do, that's my thing. I was like, well, I'm not going to take a bath in a dirty tub. So I am obsessive about, but it's funny because now that I do it more regularly, doesn't take long, and it's really not that. Yeah, it's so pretty much I'm almost daily or every other day I'm doing a quick wipe down. I'm like, oh wow, well then all the grime doesn't build up, and it's suddenly this isn't such a pain in the butt.
Well, and that's the thing. It's it's starting with that, and that's the whole purpose of us bringing in the cleaner. It's it just you have help, you have and you're doing things a little bit at a time, right? And we always say in the office, small steps equal big results, small changes equal big results. You don't have to tackle everything at once. So many people's health has declined over the past 5, 10, 20 years, and it's you don't have to recover 20 years. Yeah, you don't have to recover 20 years of breakdown. In a month. It's no, we can start. Let's set a goal. Let's get over the next couple months. Let's see what progress we make. Hey, feel better energy, better digestion, and now you're able to start doing some of the other things. Hey, I've got a messy house. Now I have the energy when I come home from work, rather than just sitting on my couch and watching TV or going straight to bed, because I'm depressed, I'm anxious, I'm exhausted. Now I actually can. And again, talking about spring, it's it's getting later outside, so people's moods, you can feel it. Yeah, people's moods are improving, and it's we have that opportunity now to take that and make a baby step to improve it, and you build on that over 5, 10, 15 years, and it's wow, now now my life is organized.
Well, just getting yourself to a point of better physical health, again, it takes more work at first, it takes time to build up, if you're starting out at the gym, it takes time to build up that strength and endurance. If you're starting out with a healthy diet, it takes time to make it a pattern, a habit. But once you do, it becomes something you don't think about. Again, it becomes that healthy habit. So same thing with, getting clean and organized could feel very daunting at first, but once everything has a place, it becomes much easier. It's, it's much easier to clean an organized house than to clean one where there's just stuff everywhere and you don't even know where to
you just move it from room to room. It's oh, this room's clean, but now that one's there.
Not. So again, it's, once you get that deep clean, again, maybe you do, if you're, maybe you do need to bring somebody in to professionally do a nice deep clean. And then once you have that deep clean, then it's just, easier to keep up with it on that day to day. So I know it can feel very daunting, but it might seem silly that we're, again, help from the health standpoint, but it really does. Again, mental, physical, emotional, like you said, coming home to a place that, I have lived with people in my past, and the state of distress that I was in. When I come home and see dishes in the sink, I go into whole mode. And it is crazy too, because you can come home and be like perfectly good day and walk into that state of, and I'm instantly mood ruined.
Yes.
So,
but well, and you said it, we are designed to be organized beings, and again, that's because that's how we're created, right? Our bodies are extremely intelligent, right? Life has intelligence, has order to it. I just brought this up, or someone brought this up in my men's group the other day, but talking about the processes of entropy versus enthalpy, okay? And those are, in physics, the laws of, the physical universe. Absent of an organizing intelligence, if you just, take matter and put it into the world, it's going to break down. Okay. It goes from order to less order to chaos, goes from order to chaos. But our bodies are different because same matter, right? We can talk about this, carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, those are the building blocks of who we are. But we're organized, right? And so there's an organizing intelligence in our body. That's the difference between us and this table right here, right? We always talk about this table, carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, us, carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. So the difference between us over the next, if we put us out in the environment versus take this table and put it out in the weather, we are still going to be organized, in a decade from now. This table is going to continue to decay. So that's the difference between, the intelligence behind it. And so we have that intelligence within us. So we also then, we want order in our lives. So, being able to, take our home, our living environment, and organize it just makes sense, that we're just in a more, peaceful, joyful place.
And I think
because of that organization.
Yeah, and I think I talk to people about this all the time too. There's so much that we can't control, right? I mean, there's so much in our world, our day to day, our overall life. There's so much that we can't control. So instead of focusing on that, which can become very, very overwhelming, again, it's how clean your house is absolutely something that you can control. So if you look at it that way, as opposed to, because again, if you're already overwhelmed and stressed, and then you're coming home to that, you're like, oh, and the house is a mess, and I have no time to clean this. Whereas again, if you shift that mindset to, okay, this is I have the ability to wash the dishes in the sink. I have the ability to run the vacuum, to wash out the sink, the tub, whatever. If you break it down like that, giving yourself that sense of control back, again, it's all about that sense of, it's going to bring that sense of empowerment, sense of peace, and all of these things are going to sound silly, but it's that's going to translate then to being able to, again, if your house is clean, if your kitchen's clean, you're much more likely to be able to cook a healthy
nice
meal, as opposed to if the fridge isn't, you don't even know what you have, kitchens, there's no clean dishes. Well, what are you going to do? You're going to order food or go out, because how could you even cook in a place like that?
Well, how many people have pieces of exercise equipment that they never use because they're covered in clothes, or they're expensive. They're expensive wardrobes because it's just covered.
So having that, it's going to help facilitate those other healthy habits that we're always promoting as well. Because again, it's just it really does. It starts with that sense of control, of organization, of feeling like you have control over your life and your health. And that's where a lot of people get to that state where they're just so overwhelmed. So focusing in on, if the other stuff feels so overwhelming right now, well, then start with the cleaning the house.
Yeah, start with what you can do, not with what you can't.
Yeah, if getting to the gym or going grocery shopping and all that just seems like too much, well then pick a closet
or a drawer.
Take a drawer, and start there, and just again feel that. I love cleaning. Throw it all.
This is all easy too.
Throw it all out. But again, I also have my times where I'm like, I just don't have the
mental capacity.
But again, I always feel, I never clean and afterwards go, oh, that was terrible.
Yeah.
Exactly. Same as the gym. There's days where I'm mentally but I know I'm going to feel better after. Same with eating a healthy meal. So sometimes it's not, the motivation isn't there up front, but you're going to feel the results after, feel better after, and it makes it worth it.
Absolutely. Anything else to add?
No, you guys covered it really well. It's, you slow down when you clean. So, the world is very, very fast paced, I feel like now, or maybe that's just what growing up is, but, you slow down and you can control inside your house, no matter what's going on outside, you can still control what's inside. So clean it, and it's almost like reflection of, cleaning, your brain, the inside of your skull is just, it's satisfying, I think.
I like that, the idea of slowing down too, kind of like being in the moment. You can't can't worry about anything else. Maybe that's why I like cleaning so much. Maybe that's low key my therapy. But yeah, it's like you can't, it's when you're scrubbing the toilet, like I'm not thinking about anything else. I'm thinking about scrubbing the toilet, and it's it forces you to be in the. I don't have my phone on me either when I'm cleaning.
Listen to music.
You're not on social media. Yeah, it's like put music on or But there is something about that. It does. It kind of forces you to just be there.
Well, again, it's an instant gratification too. We always talk about instant gratification from a negative perspective, right?
Yeah.
You eat the cookie, or you're watching the ridiculous TV shows, binge watch. It's it's that instant. You're scrolling on your phone. It's literally like this kick of dopamine that you're trying to get a high off of, mm-hmm. But with cleaning, it's like you can get the same sense of satisfaction because you immediately see the difference, and it's much more lasting. It's much more productive.
Yes. It's instant gratification that doesn't have the negative ramifications later.
Yeah, the consequences.
Yes. But yeah, so that's so we're like I said, all month of April we'll be sharing other spring cleaning tips for not just your house but your health, how to clean up the diet, the mindset, all of that. So if any of that resonates with you, make sure you're following us on social media, Facebook and Instagram. Check out our website, Turo familychiropractic.com. And as always, any questions or comments, we always love hearing feedback.
Yeah, absolutely. So cleaning your house for your health.
Exactly.
And we will see you all next time.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
You've been listening to What the Health with Dr. Dan and Angela Toro, brought to you by Toro Family Chiropractic. To learn more about the resources mentioned on today's show or listen to past episodes, visit www.whatthehealth.world.